something? I'm cool with this. I bet heaven has all the tender leaves I can eat, and everyone gets their own Slurpee machine. Yeah, take me, sweet death. I await your loving embrace. What? I think I hit the bottom.
Okay, great. I like to play that video. It really gets us in the mindset, right, of the feelings part of change, which is a big part of what we're working with. We talked yesterday about so what. So, you know, why did you guys come? Why is everyone in the room to talk about this concept called change? What are the two key objectives we're trying to mitigate risk on? Do you guys remember, for those of you who were here yesterday, there's two key things that this curve, right, that we can change, that we can mitigate from a risk perspective. What are they? We can shorten the time it takes for people to adopt, right? We can shorten the cycle of those emotions, right? We can speed them up, or we can let them run their course, and they're going to take as long as they want, okay? So we can shorten. What's the other one? Yep, how well it gets done and flatten, right? So instead of it being really deep, right? And when it's really deep is when you really feel it and you hear it, right? You hear that noise in the organization, and perhaps it even gets out to your customers that some sort of change is going on. It may affect your customers. We don't want that to happen, right? So that's the depth, right? Now what we can't eliminate, we can't completely eliminate this curve, right? Change will happen. People will have those feelings as they go through it, but we can speed them up, and we can make sure that impact isn't as deep by setting their expectations appropriately and mitigating surprises. So that's the why we do it. Here's a slide you guys didn't see yesterday, another so what slide. So why are there folks like me who kind of focus their career on helping organizations do change? More and more data is coming out now, whether it's through the Project Management Institute, PMI, or through companies such as ProSci, who measure change management best practices on a global basis, to demonstrate there's a huge correlation between projects that are successful and effective change management, right? So projects that are successful have a couple different qualifications. They're on time, they're on budget, and even more importantly is that they meet their stated objectives, right? They actually accomplish what they set out to do. And what we're seeing now in the data, and this is from a 2013 global study for best practices on change management, is it can get a project up to 6 times more likely to be successful and hit those 3 criteria: on time, on budget, and meeting project success. And why do I stress meeting project success? Have you seen projects before that are on time and on budget, but never really got at the heart of what you were trying to accomplish? Never returned the investment, never got that ROI? That happens, right? So all 3 of those are critical and very important. So we talked yesterday about a formal definition. We have to have a definition. Again, there's a couple different layers that we're talking about change at an individual level, right? We talked about resistance yesterday. We'll bring that back today. At a team level, and then at the organization or the macro level. All 3 are just as important to concentrate on. Again, at the organizational level, right, you're kind of asking different questions that people at the personal or individual level are asking. From an organizational perspective, we're looking at processes, right? What happens today? What does it look like tomorrow? What should it look like tomorrow? How do we move from current to future? How do we measure